Hey team, I hope you're all well. Gary here from Gary Rankin Coaching, and today I want to offer you something to help expand your thinking and really begin to reframe and refresh our mindsets around our health and well-being to help inspire us to live more healthily in the present, but also to live healthier longer. Sound good? Well, let's get straight into it then. Often when we think about our health and well-being goals, it's quite often in rather short time frames of what we want to achieve in the next 3 months, 6 months, 12 months and so on. And today I want to invite you to expand your thinking outwards, to let go of previous concepts and boundaries of time. You know, you've heard me talking before about if your health and well-being or any goal is something that you really care about and is important to you, it doesn't matter how long it takes to achieve it. If it's truly important, then dedicate your life to it. Make it who you are, how you live, and have your lifestyle revolve around it so that you can be living, breathing, and achieving it day in, day out, but also have your whole life to keep expanding, growing, and achieving even more. And in expanding our thinking outwards, I want you to think about something we don't often think about, because we often think about, yeah, I want that body for summer, or yeah, I want that fitness for a race, or yeah, I want that flexibility for this. And today I want you to expand your thinking outward and think about your final decade and when you would like that to be, because that's not something that we often think about. And it's important to think about because as much as none of us can escape getting old and dying, there's no cheating death. Something we can do is influence our chances of living longer to getting older. And not only that, influencing our chances of being healthier longer, because there's two things that we have. We have our lifespan and our health span. And our lifespan is how long we live. Our health span is how long we're healthy for. And in the Western world, we've got very good at extending lifespan through different medications and treatments and machinery and things that we can use, but not so great at increasing health span. And so if we were to take a pause for a second and imagine a graph, our lifespan comes along, and then drops off when we die. But our health span doesn't follow the same curve. For a lot of people in the Western world, our health span comes down, and then continues along at a low level until we eventually die. Which is to say that through the use of different medications, operations, different medical marvelous machinery, we can keep people alive longer, but they've not necessarily got a great quality of life. They spend the last 3 years, 5 years, 8 years, 10 years in a hospital bed or with no energy and on certain medications that have got different side effects and things. And so what we want to think about is, yes, increasing that lifespan and how long we live, that's important. But isn't it more important to be healthier for longer so that we can actually enjoy what we do in those later years and be able to do more? Well, here's the cool thing. If we're to focus on health span, which is how healthy we are for how long, if we can increase our health span, in turn it also increases our lifespan. But as you've seen from the finger graph that I gave you, very technical stuff, just increasing lifespan doesn't necessarily increase health span. But if we increase health span, it automatically increases lifespan. Powerful stuff. And so if we can greatly improve the quality of our life in our later years and also how long we're living healthy for, we can do that with a single approach that pays multiple benefits, or in other words, it pays very high returns for our investment. Got your curiosity yet? Okay, so you might be asking, how do we do it, Gary? What is this? What is this miracle? Well, if we focus on health span and being healthy now and being as healthy as possible now, it's going to help us to live healthier and live longer. But we can also take into account what we can do now that's going to benefit us in the future. And it's just the same approach. So the first thing we want to think about is delaying death. Of course, we cannot cheat death. Death is coming for all of us. And if you didn't know that, I'm sorry to surprise you with that, but death is coming for us. We don't know when, but we can do our best to influence that, to change that, to extend when that happens. And the four biggest killers in Western society, the four most common things likely to kill us, we've got heart disease, i.e. heart attacks. We have got metabolic disease, i.e. type 2 diabetes. We have cancer, and then last but by no means least, we have neurodegenerative disease, i.e. Alzheimer's, dementia, etc. And so if we can start delaying these things, then they're not going to come on until later in our lives. And if they come on later in our lives, they're more likely to kill us quickly, which is to say we won't be suffering. Whereas if they come on earlier in our lives, we can fight them for longer, we can be on medication for longer, we can potentially, in a lot of cases, suffer for longer. But if we can take measures and things here and now to delay the onset of these things, we can be healthier for longer, and that health span curve can follow the lifespan where it stays at a high quality for a longer time and then drops off once we're in that older age and our body is no longer capable of fighting these things off. And so how can we go about delaying these things? Well, what's really interesting is a lot of the latest science is showing that the four biggest killers that we just mentioned, all of which can be greatly delayed through exercise, through our lifestyles. And so by consistently moving, by consistently exercising, by making sure that we're eating a relatively healthy and whole food diet, we can delay the onset of these things. Now, I don't know about you, but to me, that's mind-blowing. The greatest medication, we were given bodies to give that to ourselves. If we move our bodies, that is our medication. Our other medication is all around us in nature through the foods and things that we have available to us. And so, just on that note, I just want to give you a few wee facts to think about to help open the mind up further when it comes to increasing our chances of living healthier longer. You may have heard of something called all-cause mortality, or in the medical world they refer to it as ACM. And all-cause mortality just means a risk of dying of any cause, i.e. a risk of dropping dead at any moment in time. That's when scientists are doing studies on different health related things and how they affect us. They normally measure it by all-cause mortality. Now here's something cool. If you can take your VO2 max is how healthy your heart and lungs are, how much oxygen you can move around your body in a certain amount of breaths and heartbeats. If we can take our VO2 max from the bottom 25th percentile to just below average, which is the 25th to 50th percentile, which isn't a huge jump, we cut our risk of all-cause mortality by 50%. 50%. So by increasing the health of our heart and lungs, not a huge amount, a manageable amount for the majority of people, we can cut our chances of dying at any point in time in half. Now there is no medication, no machine, no pill, no substance in the world that can give you that quality of result. And so simply by working on our cardiovascular health, whether we do it through swimming, running, cycling, however else we want to get our heart rate up, if we can improve that thing alone, we cut our chances of dying in half. And with a stronger heart and lungs now, we're going to have a stronger heart and lungs when we're older. Another thing to have a think about, the reason that most old people end up bedbound in hospitals or in retirement homes is because they fall and hurt themselves. They're no longer capable of holding themselves up or picking themselves up off the floor. They become a risk to themselves, so they're put in homes. And so, 3 of the top markers of longevity, i.e. 3 key indicators of living healthier longer. Number 1 is leg strength. Because if our legs are nice and strong, we can catch ourselves if we're going to fall. We can easily get up and down out of a chair. We can easily get up and down the stairs. We can easily get on and off the toilet and out of bed. And we don't even think about these things. But when these things become difficult in older age, we do them less often. And when we do them less often, we lose even more muscle mass and strength, therefore even more likely to have a fall and get hurt. And so by increasing the strength of our legs, we increase our chances of living longer. Here's another quick thing. If someone breaks their hip at the age of 65 or older, they double their chances of all-cause mortality. I.e., someone who breaks their hip at 65 and older, they are twice as likely to die after that hip break from any causes. So again, stronger legs is going to help us to avoid that. Second key indicator is agility, i.e. how quickly we can move about. Because again, if we go to stumble or fall, but we can quickly get our leg down, we can catch ourselves from falling. So again, working on leg strength, working on agility, going to increase how long that we live. And then a third one is our grip strength, how strongly we can grip things. Because again, if we're going down the stairs and we trip or slip, if we can grab onto the handrail and hold onto it, we can catch ourselves and keep ourselves up. And so there's just some simple things to think about. If we can improve the health of our heart and lungs, not a huge amount, just a good amount. If we can work on our leg strength, our agility, our grip strength, all of these things are going to keep us living healthier longer. And just one last thing that's a wee bit out the box, maintaining good social relationships. Another key indicator of longevity is having good social connections and feeling connected to your community and the people around you. And so, given some of these facts, given some of this information, I hope this is really beginning to open up your mind as to how you can start incorporating things into your lifestyle, into your health and well-being now that are going to help you to live healthier longer. And so what I would like to leave you with today is just to have a think about, when would you like your final decade to be? Is it 70 to 80, 80 to 90, 90 to 100, 100 to 110? Because when you decide what your final decade is, you can then decide, what kind of lifestyle do I want to live and what kind of exercise do I need to be doing that's going to allow me the VO2 max, the leg strength, the grip strength, etc. to do the things I want to do at that age. And paired with that, when you've decided when you would like your final decade to be, not that it's guaranteed, just a quick disclaimer, as I said, we can only do our best to influence, but when we've decided what our final decade could be, have a think about the things we would like to be doing in our final decade, because we can practice for that. Because I know for me, I want to be able to bend down and quickly pick up a grandchild that's running towards me. Well, that sounds a lot like a goblet squat. I can practice that. I also want to be going hill walking with my grandkids. I want to be taking my great grandkids snowboarding. I'm going to need some real core strength, some real leg strength, some real endurance. So begin thinking about, when would you love your final decade to be, and what kind of things would you love to be doing? Do you want to be able to keep up with your family out a walk in nature? Do you want to pick your grandkids up? Do you want to be out gardening? Because when you think about what you would love your final decade to be, not just what you would love your summer body to look like, we can start living a life now that's going to allow us to live healthier longer, but of course just feel so much healthier, alive and energized right here and now in the moment. So enjoy having a think about that. Enjoy incorporating some of these things into your lifestyle. And of course, if you've got any questions or anything you'd like to add or share, please feel free to pass it to your coach and they can send it over to me. Or please feel free to reach out to me on Instagram directly at GaryRankin_, and I'll reply to you personally. Until next time, enjoy thinking about living healthier longer. Take care, take action, and I'll see you real soon. Peace.